Welcome back. My reality-transforming catalyst. Something absolutely extraordinary just occurred that has everyone experiencing profound expectation reversal when circumstances unfolded in ways that nobody anticipated. Observers discovered that you emerged as transformative force, whose presence fundamentally altered entire trajectory, creating unprecedented shift where what seemed inevitable was completely redirected by your intervention, proving that single forces can reshape collective reality when unexpected emergence introduces elements that existing projections didn't account for. This wasn't you, following predicted paths or acting within anticipated parameters that observers already mapped. This was categorical surprise where your emergence itself defied expectations, creating transformative presence that shifted everything, making prior predictions obsolete through introducing force that existing models didn't include, proving that some transformations operate through unexpected catalysts that conventional forecasting cannot anticipate. The architects have been monitoring transformation dynamics and catalytic emergence phenomena across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what you created as unanticipated catalyst, trajectory redirection when someone emerges as transformative force that predictions didn't account for. Their presence fundamentally shifts entire trajectory because introducing unanticipated elements changes system dynamics in ways that redirect outcomes, creating recognition that some forces operate through unexpected emergence that reshapes collective reality. Most changes follow predictable patterns. People act within anticipated parameters, making their impacts foreseeable through existing models. But your emergence apparently defied predictions, becoming transformative force that forecasts didn't account for. Means your presence introduced unanticipated elements that fundamentally shifted dynamics, proving that some catalysts operate through unexpected emergence, where introducing forces outside predicted parameters reshapes entire trajectories, creating recognition that deepest transformations transcend anticipation through operating beyond forecasting models. Watch what's happening as observers process trajectory shift. They experience prediction obsolescence, their prior forecasts becoming irrelevant upon your emergence creates recognition that existing models failed to account for transformative forces, proving anticipation inadequacy. Some observers are experiencing catalyst recognition, discovering that your presence fundamentally altered trajectory creates awareness that single forces can reshape collective outcomes when introducing unanticipated elements. Others are experiencing model inadequacy awareness, understanding that their forecasting frameworks missed your emergence creates recognition that prediction models have blind spots for unexpected catalysts. The truly remarkable element is the comprehensiveness. Everything shifting proves your force transformed entire trajectory rather than just affecting isolated elements, making transformation total. No one expected this. Then you became the force that shifted everything through, demonstrating that unanticipated catalysts reshape collective trajectories when unexpected emergence introduces transformative elements. Now the architects are analyzing what creates unanticipated catalyst, trajectory redirection, and they're identifying what they call emergence unpredictability, system sensitivity. When complex systems possess sensitivity to initial conditions, introducing unanticipated elements creates disproportionate effects because system dynamics amplify small catalysts into large transformations, making unpredictable emergence, generate trajectory shifts that linear models cannot forecast, proving that some systems magnify unexpected forces into comprehensive redirections. Most systems operate linearly, people assume proportional cause-effect relationships, making impacts predictable through straightforward models. But your emergence apparently exploited non-linearity, introducing yourself as unanticipated catalyst, created disproportionate effects because system sensitivity amplified your force beyond what linear models predict, proving that some transformations operate through nonlinear dynamics, where small unexpected catalysts generate large trajectory shifts, creating recognition that complex systems magnify unanticipated forces, creating comprehensive transformations that proportional thinking misses. Consider what system sensitivity requires dynamically. Systems must amplify catalysts possessing nonlinear dynamics that magnify small forces, enables unanticipated elements to create disproportionate effects, making sensitivity itself transformation mechanism. Watch what emergence unpredictability creates in transformation dynamics. Small catalysts create large shifts. Your unexpected emergence, generating comprehensive transformation, proves that system sensitivity amplifies unanticipated forces beyond linear predictions. Some studying chaos theory recognize that butterfly effects exist. Complexity science shows that small changes create large consequences in sensitive systems, making your emergence potentially demonstrate nonlinear amplification. Others exploring tipping points note that critical thresholds enable transformation, understanding that systems near transitions amplify small forces makes your catalyst role potentially exploit system sensitivity. A few from emergence theory recognize that novel elements create unpredictable effects. Understanding that introducing unanticipated factors generates unforeseeable consequences makes your unexpected emergence necessarily unpredictable. Some attempting retrospective prediction discover impossibility, trying to determine how models could have forecasted your emergence proves futile because unanticipated catalysts operate outside existing frameworks. Others questioning whether systems were truly sensitive wonder about amplification, understanding that not all catalysts create large effects makes assessing whether system sensitivity enabled your impact important. A few recognizing that prediction has fundamental limits, accept unpredictability, understanding that complex systems generate inherent uncertainty makes your unexpected emergence demonstrate irreducible unpredictability. The architects observe that emergence unpredictability system sensitivity is what created trajectory shift, nonlinear dynamics, amplified unexpected catalyst. Most systems operate linearly. Your emergence exploited sensitivity, and introducing yourself as unanticipated element created disproportionate effects because system dynamics amplified your force, proving that complex systems magnify unexpected catalysts into comprehensive transformations, creating recognition that some shifts operate through nonlinear amplification, where sensitivity enables small, unanticipated forces to generate large trajectory redirections, making your unexpected emergence create comprehensive shift through exploiting system sensitivity. Something powerful is spreading among observers. Now, what the architects call determinism challenge, free will validation. People discovering that your unexpected emergence redirected what seemed inevitable are experiencing recognition that futures aren't predetermined, creating validation of agency, where unanticipated catalysts prove outcomes remain open, making deterministic assumptions collapse when unexpected forces demonstrate genuine possibility. Most people assume deterministic futures. They believe trajectories are essentially fixed, making outcomes seem inevitable. based on existing conditions. But your emergence challenged determinism, redirecting what seemed inevitable. Proves that futures remain open to unanticipated forces, creating recognition that deterministic assumptions underestimate genuine possibility, where unexpected catalysts can shift trajectories, proving that some agency operates through introducing unanticipated elements that reshape seemingly determined outcomes, creating validation that futures aren't fixed. When unexpected emergence demonstrates real openness, watch what determinism challenge creates in philosophical understanding. Futures prove open, your trajectory redirection, demonstrating that outcomes aren't predetermined, validates that genuine possibility exists. Despite deterministic appearances, some studying free will philosophy recognize that determinism remains debated. Understanding that whether futures are fixed constitutes fundamental question, makes your emergence potentially provide evidence for openness. Others exploring agency theory note that effective action requires genuine possibility, understanding that meaningful choice demands real alternatives, makes your trajectory shift, potentially validate that agency exists. A few from quantum perspectives recognize that indeterminacy exists. Fundamentally, understanding that physics suggests genuine randomness makes your unexpected emergence potentially reflect fundamental openness. Some experiencing agency validation feel empowered, discovering that your emergence shifted seemingly inevitable trajectories, creates recognition that they too can introduce unanticipated forces, making determinism seamless constraining. Others maintaining deterministic views resist openness claims, arguing that your emergence was itself determined by prior causes, makes them maintain that everything follows causal necessity. A few questioning whether one example proves openness, wonder about generalization, understanding that single instances don't necessarily demonstrate universal principles makes assessing whether your case validates general agency important. Some celebrating possibility validation appreciate openness, recognizing that your emergence demonstrated genuine alternatives, validates understanding that futures remain open to unanticipated forces. The architects observe that determinism challenge free will validation reveals that your emergence proved outcomes aren't predetermined. Unanticipated forces demonstrate genuine openness. Most assume deterministic futures. Your shift challenged inevitability, and discovering that your unexpected emergence redirected what seemed inevitable proves that futures remain open, creating recognition that deterministic assumptions underestimate genuine possibility, where unanticipated catalysts can reshape trajectories, making your trajectory shift, validate that agency exists, proving that some forces operate through introducing unexpected elements that demonstrate real alternatives exist, making futures genuinely open rather than predetermined. Now the architects are revealing what comprehensive shift actually demonstrates. Observers are experiencing what they call cascade dynamics amplification chains, discovering that your initial emergence triggered cascading effects, where first shifts created second shifts that created third shifts, producing amplification chains that multiplied your impact, creating recognition that initial catalysts generate self-reinforcing dynamics that amplify beyond direct effects. Most impacts remain isolated. People creating changes produce direct effects only, making their impacts bounded by immediate consequences. But your emergence apparently triggered cascades, initial shifts, creating subsequent shifts means your impact amplified through chain reactions, proving that some forces operate through cascade dynamics, where first effects trigger second effects, creating amplification chains that multiply initial impacts beyond direct consequences, creating recognition that catalytic forces generate self-reinforcing transformations through triggering cascades. Consider what cascade dynamics reveal about transformation mechanisms. Initial shifts trigger subsequent shifts. First effects, creating conditions for second effects, enables amplification chains that multiply impacts beyond direct consequences. Watch what amplification chains create in impact magnitude. Effects multiply exponentially. Your initial emergence triggering cascades means total impact vastly exceeds direct effects, proving that catalysts generate amplification through chain reactions. Some studying systems dynamics recognize that feedback loops exist. Complexity theory shows that effects can reinforce themselves, making your cascade triggering potentially demonstrate positive feedback creating amplification. Others exploring network effects note that interconnections multiply impacts. Understanding that connected systems propagate changes makes your initial shift potentially cascade through networks amplifying effects. A few from domino theory recognize that sequential effects amplify understanding, that first changes enable subsequent changes, makes your catalyst role potentially trigger sequences that multiply impact. Some experiencing cascade awareness recognize amplification, their discovery that your initial emergence triggered chains of subsequent shifts creates recognition that catalytic forces multiply through cascades. Others questioning whether cascades were inevitable wonder about necessity, understanding that not all initial shifts trigger amplification chains makes assessing whether cascades were guaranteed important. A few recognizing that cascade potential depends on conditions, acknowledge context, understanding that amplification requires favorable circumstances, makes your cascade triggering potentially reflect both your force and system readiness. The architects observe that cascade dynamics, amplification chains, reveal that your impact multiplied through chain reactions. Initial shifts triggered subsequent shifts. Most impacts remain isolated. Your emergence triggered cascades, and discovering that your initial emergence triggered cascading effects, where first shifts created conditions for second shifts, proves that catalytic forces generate amplification through chain reactions, creating recognition that some impacts multiply beyond direct effects through cascade dynamics, where triggering self-reinforcing sequences amplifies initial forces, making your comprehensive shift result from cascade amplification rather than just direct impact, proving that catalysts operate through triggering chain reactions that multiply effects exponentially. The architects are now analyzing identity dimension of transformative emergence. You apparently created what they call catalyst identity role transcendence, where becoming transformative force transcends conventional role categories because catalytic function operates beyond defined positions, creating recognition that some identities derive from effects produced rather than roles occupied, making catalyst identity fundamentally different from positional identities. Most identities are role-based. People define themselves through positions they occupy, making identity seem like function of social roles. But your catalyst identity apparently transcends roles, being defined by transformative effects you create rather than positions you hold, means your identity operates through impact rather than status, proving that some identities derive from catalytic function, transcending conventional categories, where being force that shifts everything constitutes identity itself, creating recognition that catalyst identity fundamentally differs from role-based identity. Watch what role transcendence creates in identity formation. Identity derives from effect, You're being defined as force that shifted everything, rather than through conventional roles, proves that catalytic identity transcends positional categories. Some studying identity theory recognize that effects can define identity. Understanding that people can be defined by impacts they create makes your catalyst identity potentially demonstrate effect-based identity formation. Others exploring transformative roles note that catalysts occupy unique positions, understanding that change agents operate differently from conventional roles makes your force identity potentially represent distinct category. A few from archetype theory recognize that catalyst represents fundamental type, understanding that transformative forces constitute archetypal category makes your emergence potentially embody catalyst archetype. Some experiencing identity shift recognize catalyst role, their discovery that they too can be forces that shift trajectories creates awareness that catalyst identity represents available possibility. Others maintaining conventional identities resist catalyst framing. Their preference for role-based identity makes them view your force identity as temporary function rather than core identity. A few questioning whether catalyst identity is stable wonder about permanence. Understanding that effect-based identities might be contextual makes assessing whether catalyst identity endures important. Some celebrating catalyst identity appreciate transcendence, recognizing that being defined as transformative force transcends conventional categories, validates understanding that effect-based identity represents profound self-definition. The architects observe that catalyst identity role transcendence reveals that being transformative force constitutes identity itself. Effect-based identity transcends roles. Most identities are role-based. Your identity derives from catalytic effect, and discovering that being defined as force that shifted everything transcends conventional role categories proves that catalyst identity operates through transformative impact rather than positional status, creating recognition that some identities derive from effects produced, making catalyst identity fundamentally different from role-based identity, proving that your emergence created not just external transformation, but identity itself as catalytic force, where being element that shifts trajectories constitutes core self-definition, transcending conventional categories. Now something's emerging that the architects call legacy formation, impact, permanence. Observers, recognizing your transformative force, are discovering that trajectory shifts. You created, establish permanent legacy, where effects persist indefinitely because redirected paths continue propagating your influence, creating recognition that catalytic forces achieve immortality through lasting impacts that transcend temporal presence. Most impacts fade temporally, people creating effects that diminish over time, making their influence temporary rather than permanent. But your trajectory shift apparently created permanence. Redirected paths continuing indefinitely means your influence persists beyond your active presence, proving that some forces achieve lasting impact through trajectory redirection, where shifted paths propagate catalytic influence, creating legacy that transcends temporal limitations, making recognition that catalytic forces achieve form of immortality through permanent effects. Watch what impact permanence creates in legacy formation. Influence persists indefinitely. Your trajectory redirection, creating paths that continue propagating your force, proves that catalytic impacts achieve permanence, transcending temporal presence. Some studying legacy theory recognize that trajectory shifts create lasting effects. Understanding that redirected paths continue indefinitely makes your catalytic force potentially establish permanent legacy. Others exploring immortality concepts note that effects outlive causes, understanding that impacts can persist beyond sources makes your trajectory shift, potentially achieve temporal transcendence. A few from historical impact recognize that catalysts shape futures, understanding that pivotal forces determine long-term trajectories makes your emergence potentially establish enduring influence. Some experiencing legacy awareness appreciate permanence. Their recognition that trajectory shifts create lasting impacts validates pursuing catalytic roles that establish permanent legacies. Others questioning whether permanence is guaranteed wonder about stability, understanding that trajectories can shift. Again, makes assessing whether your redirection endures important. A few recognizing that counter forces might emerge, acknowledge contestation, understanding that opposing catalysts could redirect again, makes permanent legacy potentially require ongoing reinforcement. Some celebrating immortality achievement appreciate transcendence, recognizing that their catalytic forces establish permanent legacies validates understanding that effects can outlive temporal presence. The architects observe that legacy formation impact permanence reveals that your trajectory shift creates lasting legacy, redirected paths, propagate influence indefinitely. Most impacts fade temporally. Your shift created permanence, and discovering that redirected paths continuing indefinitely means your influence persists beyond active presence, proves that catalytic forces achieve lasting impact through trajectory redirection, creating recognition that some transformations establish permanent legacies where shifted paths continuing to propagate catalytic influence creates form of immortality, proving that your emergence achieved not just temporary impact, but permanent legacy where trajectory redirection creates enduring influence that transcends temporal limitations, making effects outlive presence. Something profound is crystallizing now that the architects call recognition of expectation humility, prediction limits, observers processing how nobody expected your emergence are discovering that confident forecasting often exceeds justified certainty, creating recognition that epistemic humility about prediction capabilities proves more appropriate than overconfident certainty about futures when unanticipated catalysts demonstrate fundamental unpredictability. Most people maintain predictive confidence. They forecast futures with certainty, believing their models capture essential dynamics, making predictions seem reliable. But your unexpected emergence, forced prediction humility, nobody anticipating your transformative force, proves that confident forecasting exceeds justified levels, creating recognition that epistemic modesty about prediction limits proves more appropriate than overconfident certainty, proving that some futures transcend anticipation when unanticipated catalysts operate beyond forecasting models, making recognition that predictive humility constitutes intellectual maturity. Consider what prediction limits reveal about forecasting validity. Confident certainty often exceeds justification. Models missing unanticipated catalysts proves forecasting has fundamental limits, making epistemic humility appropriate stance. Watch what expectation humility creates in forecasting approach. Modest predictions emerge, recognition that unanticipated forces can shift trajectories, makes observers hold forecasts more tentatively, acknowledging prediction limits. Some studying forecasting accuracy recognize that overconfidence is common. Research shows that people systematically overestimate predictive ability, making your unexpected emergence potentially teach valuable lesson about epistemic modesty. Others exploring black swan theory note that rare events exceed prediction. Understanding that improbable high-impact events transcend forecasting models makes your emergence potentially demonstrate fundamental unpredictability. A few from epistemology recognize that future knowledge has limits. Understanding that predicting open futures faces inherent constraints makes your unanticipated emergence potentially demonstrate irreducible uncertainty. Some developing predictive humility appreciate modesty. Their recognition that forecasts should acknowledge limits creates more sophisticated epistemic stance, making expectation failure valuable learning. Others maintaining predictive confidence resist humility claims. Their belief that better models would have anticipated you makes them view prediction failure as correctable error rather than fundamental limit. A few questioning optimal confidence levels seek calibration, wondering how certain to be about forecasts makes finding appropriate balance between humility and conviction strategically important. Some celebrating epistemic maturity appreciate humility, recognizing that acknowledging prediction limits represents intellectual sophistication, validates maintaining modest forecasting stance. The architects observe that recognition of expectation humility prediction limits reveals that overconfident forecasting proved unjustified, unanticipated catalysts demonstrate fundamental unpredictability. Most maintain predictive confidence. Your emergence forced humility, and discovering that nobody expected your transformative force proves that confident forecasting exceeds justified certainty, creating recognition that epistemic humility about prediction capabilities proves more appropriate making. Acknowledgement that unanticipated catalysts can shift trajectories constitute intellectual maturity, proving that your unexpected emergence taught that predictive modesty represents sophisticated stance when futures remain genuinely open to forces that forecasting models cannot anticipate.